Let me take this time now to announce that we have set the date for the Trust But Verify Commission forgery of the Obama birth certificate trial. Now, that will be a part of the way it will be identified. We may modify it in the days to come. The date has been set for the 24th of October, the year 2011, at 9:30 in the morning. The trial will get underway. And this trial is set and brought to prove unequivocally to the American people and the world at large that Barack Hussein Obama has presented to the American people two forged birth certificates. We're absolutely and unequivocally clear that both of these certificates can be proven forensically, historically, graphically, legally to be frauds. That will not be a difficult case to prove. And even the detractors of the trial and the supporters of Obama will have to admit that both documents were indeed forgeries placed upon the American media that they might be believed to demonstrate that Barack Hussein Obama fits the constitutional requirements, Constitution Article 2, Segment A, to be the U.S. president. It is also clear that the documents are for representation, two forged documents. There will be a third birth certificate presented as well, the one that was brought from Kenya, demonstrating that he was born in Kenya, in Mombasa, Kenya. However, the forged documents demonstrate unequivocally that there is no legal hospital-generated birth certificate. We'll argue that later. The indictment, we have discovered, will include several other persons, including several charges of which we are not prepared to announce at present until the guilty parties have been notified that they are indicted along with Barack Hussein Obama in this matter. And the charges that will be filed, or the indictment filed in the indictment, charges, obvious charges such as wire fraud, mail fraud, and those that have also presented this wire fraud or mail fraud, or who can be proven to be criminally conspirators and supporters of a criminal act, will also be indicted as well. And we will inform you of that at the appropriate time. Now, because there's never been a trial like this in terms of its scope, by that I mean that Obama has presented a forged document to 50 State Departments. 50 different states have been duped by the forgery. Moreover, this document has been presented to federal authorities and congressional authorities, whereupon the guilty parties will be guilty of lying to federal agencies, lying to Congress. There's a plethora of charges that could list as many as 100 various criminal felonious charges that will be contained in the indictment. Moreover, there is the charge of treason as well, inasmuch as that the documents presented can be linked to international cooperation with enemies of America at the time the documents were presented and the American people were defrauded or frauded. Well, fraud was committed on the American people through the presentation of the documents. Finally, there will be an addendum, and we're considering the worthiness of this, but we find it extremely important inasmuch as that we may not get an opportunity to present a trial or evidence after this trial runs its course, that we would attach to this trial that the books Dreams from My Father and The Audacity of Hope be listed as forgeries and be reclassified as fictional works, inasmuch as that both of those books were consistent and concurrent with the fraud and forgery charges of the birth certificate. In fact, the foundation for the forgery charges lie within the books Dream from My Father and Audacity of Hope. Then we will addendum to have these books reclassified as fictional works, because they're not only are there two forged birth certificates, but inasmuch as we're at the caliber of the highest office in the land, presentation, that those two books then can be considered documents whereupon they have been used by factcheck.org, by MSNBC, by ABC, by several other major news organizations, Wall Street Journal and others, as proof positive of Obama's eligibility and his citizenship, that they too now can be brought in as documents that are forged. That the forgery goes back not only to the two documents presented online, but to the documents called Audacity of Hope and the document called Dreams from My Father, proven to be forgeries. There you have it. The date is set for the 24th of October. The trial will be held at the Atla World Missionary Church in Atla, New York, formerly known as Harlem, where James David Manning presides as the leader of that congregation and presides over that ministry. We believe it's best to hold a trial here in the Atla World Missionary Church, inasmuch as that the church building can serve as a great courthouse. It has served that purpose previously. We believe it will serve again. We will also be putting forth a second announcement regarding the trial, as we will solicit information and various persons that will be subpoenaed to testify, others who would volunteer to testify, and the door will be open for those who have pertinent, validated, documented evidence regarding the forgery, regarding the representation to the 50 states, regarding the Democratic National Party, regarding the involvement of Congress, regarding lying to federal agents, lying to Congress, wire fraud, mail fraud, those who have presented and verified and documented, those who've made claims, inconsistent statements made by authorities in Hawaii. All of that evidence and information will be presented and will be gone over in this trial at the Atla World Missionary Church. The trial will begin promptly at 9:30 in the morning on the 24th of October at the Atla World Missionary Church. Once we have conclusively looked at and served indictments upon the defendants in this matter, and there are many, then we will begin to divulge the charges pending and the charges indicted and the charges that, and the persons rather, that are also a part and party to the grand jury indictment of the two forged birth certificates presented by one Mr. Barack Hussein Obama. I'm James David Manning, and all things being equal, I will be the lead prosecutor in this matter. I look forward to your assistance, your support, your prayers as we go forward to save our Constitution and to save our great nation and to do the job that the courts of our nation will not do. There is a recent ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court called Bond versus the United States that says unequivocally that citizens of the states do have the right to bring trials wherein the government at the federal level or state level fails to adjudicate their responsibilities. Then the Constitution warmly and glowingly protects all trials, verdicts, and they are binding once citizens do hold such trials. According to the finding recently, the month of June, the year 2011, the case Bond versus United States of America, giving citizens the authority to hold trials. I'm James David Manning. Look for more reporting on the Manning Report.
All true, all the time. The Manning Report is sure to blow